In the world of professional darts, where precision and skill are paramount, one player's performance left fans and officials alike scratching their heads. Of all the intriguing cases published by the Darts Regulation Authority in 2019, one stood out like a misfired arrow on a crowded dartboard. It was the tale of Mickey Mansell, a Northern Irishman who found himself in hot water for a baffling reason. This wasn't your typical sports controversy, it was a fine for not playing to the best of his ability. But what happened on that fateful day, and how did it lead to such an extraordinary punishment? Let's dive into the match that had the darts world talking. It was the 15th of December 2018, a date that would be etched in Mickey Mansell's memory for all the wrong reasons. On that day, the spotlight shone brightly on the legendary Alexandra Palace stage, where Mickey faced off against a relatively unknown Canadian underdog, Jim Long, in the PDC World Darts Championship. The game started with a thunderous 180 from Long, setting the tone for a match that promised excitement. However, what unfolded was far from a display of darting brilliance, with both players struggling to find their rhythm. A glimmer of hope for Mansell came in the form of an 83 finish on the bullseye, securing him the first set. But it was short-lived, as Long responded with a magnificent 127 finish to level the match. As the battle of darting prowess continued, Long eventually found his stride, seizing control by taking the third set. With victory within reach, the pressure mounted for both players. Long came tantalizingly close to sealing the deal in the fourth set, but narrowly missed 3 crucial match darts. Mansell, on the other hand, fought valiantly, desperately trying to push the match into a deciding set. But fate had other plans. When the decisive moment arrived, Mickey Mansell squandered a chance to extend the game, missing a crucial double 7. Jim Long remained as cool as the other side of the pillow, seizing the opportunity and securing his place in the next round. Don't forget to hit the bullseye so you never miss out on any of our amazing darts videos. The one exception to that being the third set, during which Mansell averaged just 66.32 compared to Long's 79.11. Both players seemed to grapple with inconsistency throughout the match, turning it into a nail-biting contest. Jim Long, making his debut on the grand stage, managed to scrape through with a 3-1 victory. Surprisingly, despite his triumph, Long's performance was far from stellar, averaging only 75.33, hardly a number that screams dominance. Nevertheless, it proved sufficient to conquer his Northern Irish opponent, as Mansell ended up with a marginally lower average of 74.45. It was a match that left spectators bewildered, as two talented players failed to hit the mark consistently. For Mansell, the consequences would follow, as the DRA levied a fine of £500 and a stern warning about his future conduct. As the news of Mansell's fine spread like wildfire through the darts community, fans and pundits were left with burning questions. What led to this unusual punishment? What exactly did Mickey Mansell do to warrant such consequences? The Darts Regulation Authority outlined 2 specific rules that Mansell was deemed to have broken. The first, Rule 3.1, forbids players or anyone associated with the sport from making statements or engaging in acts that could bring the esteemed game of darts into disrepute. While the DRA did not provide explicit details about the exact incident, it was clear that something during the match raised concerns about Mansell's conduct. The second rule cited, Rule 3.8, commands players to perform and compete to the best of their ability in every match and tournament they participate in. The DRA, in their evaluation of Mansell's performance, must have concluded that he had not lived up to this standard during his clash with Jim Long. However, the DRA's silence on the specifics of the alleged breach left the darts world in a state of intrigue. Social media buzzed with discussions, debates, and theories about the exact reasons behind the fine. Some speculated that Mansell's lackluster display in the third set, with an average of just 66.32, might have been a significant factor in the decision. Notably, the DRA had dealt with similar cases in the past, demonstrating their commitment to maintaining the integrity of the sport. Players like Andy Jenkins, William O'Connor, and Aaron Monk had faced fines and suspensions for various offences, ranging from offensive language to disruptive behaviour. Clearly, the DRA took any breach of conduct seriously and acted accordingly. Despite the uproar surrounding the fine, Mickey Mansell chose to remain silent on the matter. His tweet at the end of the year hinted at disappointment, but also suggested a determination to improve and move forward in the coming year. The DRA's decision to fine Mansell for not playing to the best of his ability stirred up a storm of controversy, with even renowned Sky Sports pundit Wayne Mardle expressing his strong strong views on the matter. In a live darts interview, Mardle pulled no punches in critiquing the DRA's handling of the situation. "There's no consistency with the DRA," Mardle exclaimed, clearly frustrated by what he saw as arbitrary decision-making. He went on to accuse the authority of seemingly inventing rules as they went along, a sentiment that had bothered him for a considerable time. For Mardle, the crux of the issue lay in the description of Mansell's alleged offence. "Not playing to the best of his ability? Well, fine me $1 million," he retorted, raising a valid point about the subjective nature of such a charge. Even Mickey Mansell himself had questioned the DRA's wording in a statement. He expressed that if the DRA had simply cited bringing the game into disrepute, it would have put the matter to rest. However, the specific phrasing of not playing to the best of his ability left room for interpretation and fueled the debates surrounding the fine. Mardle's frustration didn't stop at the DRA. He also directed his ire towards the PDPA. He felt that the organisation, which published Mansell's statement, could have been more assertive in advocating for the players' interests. He called for better quality representation and emphasised that simply offering help wasn't enough. The issue of fines and player treatment hit close to home for Mardle, who had navigated his playing career with great care. He believed that the DRA's approach, which he likened to bullying players into paying fines, was problematic and detrimental to the sport. Drawing from his own experiences, Mardle expressed dissatisfaction with the DRA's practices, both during his time as a player and in the present day. Honestly, if you ask me, I'm not liking any of this. It just doesn't sit right with me. I've watched several matches on the darts circuit where players had averages as low as 70, and I don't recall any fines being imposed on them. Even Simon Whitlock had a few legs in the 60s during one of his matches. So why the inconsistency now? Unless a player showed up completely intoxicated, barely able to stand, and got crushed 5-0 with a sub 50 average, which would clearly be a conduct issue, I can't fathom how they can apply this rule just based on having a bad day. It's a sport, and even the best athletes have off days. If the concern is alcohol related, then maybe the only way to address it is by making it illegal to consume alcohol during competitions. They could implement breath tests on players, and if anyone is found to have consumed alcohol, they get suspended or even banned. It would be a straightforward and clear-cut approach to handling this issue. But I can't help but wonder if there's something more to this. Is this a sneaky way to weed out the players considered poorer performers from the tour? It almost feels like they're trying to fine anyone who averages under 80 in a match, effectively making it not worth the effort for some players to even show up. I genuinely believe in fairness and consistency. If there are rules, they should be applied across the board without any bias or ambiguity. As a player in the darting community, I want to see transparency in how fines and disciplinary actions are handed out. It's only fair to all the players who dedicate their time and passion to this sport. I'm also concerned about the broader impact of these decisions. If players are constantly worried about being fined for having a bad game, it might affect their motivation and enjoyment of the sport. That's the last thing we want to see in a game that's meant to be about skill, precision, and a love for darts. Let me know what you guys think about this matter. Don't forget to hit the bullseye so you never miss out on any of our amazing darts videos.